Big shout to okjersey.com. Scan the QR code below and actually go to the link below to get affordable football shirts from all the European leagues, including the English clubs, all of them, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, City, Spurs, Chelsea, all of them, of course, are all there. You can get the current ones, past seasons, and also some absolute gems out there, vintage ones, and actually very affordable football shirts, high quality, like the one I'm wearing right here. It is very simple to get one. Let me show you how. You go to the website. It's very simple. You click on the Premier League, pick the club you want. For me, I pick Newcastle, for example. You go there, you will find all the current ones, training ones as well. You add whatever you want to the cart. Of course, check the sizes, add a patch, add to cart, but also never forget, as it says below, scan the QR code and put the code JUDGE in the checkout to get 8% discount. It's that easy. Just go to the website, check the football shirt you want. You will not regret it. Now, let's get back to our stream. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello people and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Welcome to another stream on a Sunday after Chelsea draw Arsenal, of course, in the Premier League, and Liverpool finally, Isak scored a goal for them to actually give them 3 points, of course, away at West Ham. Not expected and not predicted, but Liverpool win a football match. And we're going to just get right to it. We have got Martin, we got Jaco. Of course, you guys have seen Jaco before here. Of course, he is a Chelsea fan. He has his own channel. It's in the description as well. We got Rack. Welcome back, Rack, to the channel. Haven't seen you for a while. And we got Dio, Mr. The Gunner Edge himself. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, The Gunner Edge, look at this freaking background. You're actually beating me in the best background on YouTube. So look at this guy with the camera and everything.
Forget the background. Ignore it. It's going to change again next time.
It's great. It's fantastic. And we got Ads, who's going to join us momentarily, of course, on his phone, and everything is good. But listen, we're going to get right into it. I know that people want to start with Chelsea and Arsenal. I know there is Liverpool talk, but the main topic is Arsenal and Chelsea. Actually, they ruined my day by drawing. It should have been one of them to win, to actually be better, to actually shit on one of the clubs. But listen, I'm going to be completely straightforward. Hit that like button, people, if you guys are here, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to start actually with a non-Chelsea and Arsenal fan quickly. Rak, have you watched the game?
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Which game? Ironically, I did actually watch a bit of the Chelsea Arsenal game, and I mean, look, Chelsea up against it. But
can I ask a question, like quickly right away? Who do you think deserved the win?
I mean, look,
I want to hear this also from the people. Who deserved the win? A draw is a fair result, or Arsenal or Chelsea? Go ahead.
I mean, Chelsea were up against it. They create. Look, if I'm giving a short answer, I think a draw was a fair result. Chelsea showed grit, determination, especially after going a man down, and then went on to go a goal up. And if things had gone well for them, they might have even snuck the win. I think Arsenal tried, and just because of the sheer number of chances they either created or got close to creating, they probably deserve to take one of them. So I think a draw is probably a fair result. But I can understand why Chelsea fans are not disappointed. I'm sure they're probably proud of their team for against adversity and for being down to 10 men for such a long period of time. May feel like they had some kind of moral victory. But I think when you're factually looking at the game, probably a draw was a fair result.
What about the red card, guys? You guys think the red card is a red card? Without a shadow of a doubt. There's nobody can deny that. It's a red card. Just move on. Anybody think something about the offside?
I think it's technically offside, but they didn't even bring it up in the coverage. Like, people won't even notice about it. It's not one of those things that'll get headlines, I think.
I noticed it, but because I didn't see the lines, I didn't think. Like, I wasn't sure it was offside or not. I know that Enzo was involved, but I think they deemed it after the game. They spoke about it. They deemed it that he didn't get involved in the play, actually, because what's his name? Mosquera was actually holding him, and instead of like he didn't prevent Mosquera from playing the ball, to be honest with you.
He jumped at the ball and tried to head it and was maybe like 10, 20 centimeters away from it. But the fact that he's there means Mosquera can't just head the ball away. He's got to focus on Enzo being the next person to hit the ball. I think that's what Mosquera thought would happen, is that Enzo was going to head it, but he missed it and then it's gone. But I think he interferes, but it's up to people's interpretation.
Yeah, 100%. Are you proud of the are you content with Arsenal winning with Arsenal point, Martin?
I am, yeah. I'm not. Okay. I think in the context of the week, it's a pretty good point, but I feel
you don't think that you should have won the game playing against 10 men? It's not an opportunity missed for you.
If they didn't score, yeah, but the fact that we went 1-0 down in the second half and they were down to 10 men just felt like, okay, they're going to lock up shop now, and this is going to be really, really hard to score. And to be fair to Chelsea, they defended well. They won most of the duels, I think, and they were dangerous on the counterattack even with 10 men. So I didn't really feel like we committed ourselves to fully going for the win, which is a little disappointing. But I can understand, like, as soon as I heard Saliba was out, I knew that we were going to have trouble playing out from the back with just Mosquera and Hincapié, who hadn't really played together at all or know the system that well compared to...
that's one of the things that I don't think a lot of people mentioned that. But before that, my friend, but I haven't mentioned okjersey.com, guys. If you haven't checked okjersey.com, it's our sponsor for the day. So go and check them out. They deliver in the US. I received my package. City, I got the City, I got the Arsenal, I got the Chelsea, I got all of them. So I got Liverpool as well. So it's okay.
1 out of 4 is not bad, Mo.
Yeah, I got all of them. So guys, if you haven't checked OK Jersey, go check them out. I got a lot of good shirts as well from them, and I'm gonna get a new package as well. So go and check them out. They deliver to the US with certain amount you spend. Like I don't know how much, you get a free shipping to the US. So go and check them out. They deliver to most countries as well in Europe. They deliver to some countries in Africa and Asia as well. So go and check them out. I don't know who said it's my birthday. My birthday was like 5 days ago. So that was my birthday.
Yeah, but we're going to keep celebrating you till the end of the year. Like, what are you going to do about it? You can't stop us from saying happy birthday next month. We'll still say it. What will you do about it?
What happened to ads? Jeko, what did you think about the game? You disappointed with the point?
I'm not disappointed because of the red card. I'm not disappointed. But if we were to keep 11 men, I would have been disappointed with the draw. I'm actually pretty impressed with the performance that we gave after going down 10 men to the best team in the galaxy, right? So I'm looking forward to next week.
World Cup, man. You guys won that.
You know what I mean? The Ballon d'Or candidate Declan Rice, getting bossed by my right back in midfield. It's very interesting to watch. That was a very interesting watch, especially with 10 men. Very interesting watch. People don't like to give him his flowers, but I think he deserved his flowers today. I also looked at the Saka. and Cucurella battle. And that was really interesting to watch. That was a fun battle. It was really back and forth. I think both of them had their respective wins in that battle. I think it was pretty much fair. Saka gave a really good cross in for that equalizer with what's his name, Marino. But other than that, I wasn't really that worried with Arsenal. I was expecting Arsenal to be way more aggressive, especially down 10 men. Because you see normally when they have the ball, and I'm watching them in Europe, especially in Europe, when I watch them against Bayern, when they have the ball, they're very dominant and they're very aggressive. They weren't as I don't think we allowed them to play as aggressive that they wanted to normally play today, and that just shows how far ahead now the team is. And I want to say, let's give Maresca some props, man. Maresca, like I said, he's a tactician, and a lot of people they hold Arteta to a very high standard. And I think we should start giving Maresca those flowers for being able to compete with a lot of these very world class, because that's what Arsenal players call their manager, and fans call their manager a world class manager. Let's give him his props.
It is the problem with this analysis. Here
we go.
I'm gonna tell you the problem. I have been hearing a lot on YouTube in the last 3 hours. Oh my God, Arsenal missed a massive chance. They should have dominated Chelsea. They're the best team in the world. And I keep saying, and I told Osam this on MHF, we are ignoring that Chelsea play at home. We're ignoring that Chelsea just beat Barcelona 3-0. We're ignoring that Chelsea defended very well. We're ignoring that also, like, Arsenal didn't have their two center backs. Not excuses. Actually, the reality is Arsenal going to Chelsea, a point is good. The context is Chelsea went 1-0 ahead and Arsenal came back to it. That is the context of this game. Arsenal were poor, right? But I think that's because Chelsea were good. Chelsea were so good. Even with 10 men, Chelsea could have snatched that game. That's how good Chelsea were.
We're talking about the same Chelsea that won that silly preseason trophy? Oh, stop it, man. Not that Chelsea.
Yeah, but again, I think to be honest,
today, find my best here, guys. It's just hard to.
To be honest, today, it was never going to be easy, and Arsenal is not going to go unbeaten this season, right? And we're not going to win all 38 games. And if there's any game that I want to be able to say maybe I drop points in or I struggled, it has to be a big team. If this was against the Leeds or something like that, I would be very disappointed. If anybody knows, I've been very consistent about Chelsea since last season. Mo, what did I say last season about Chelsea? I said when they click, there will be a problem. Everybody who was on stream with me last season, I always said that about Chelsea last year. This was last year. I said when Chelsea clicks, there will be a problem, right? Because you can see it. And they played very well today. 10 man, no 10 man, 11 men, no 11 men. They played very well. I think we came to, the bridge today to try to control the game. But then when they got physical, really physical, the Caicedos are getting physical, the Cucurellas are getting physical. The very first 10 minutes, you could tell that, dude, there were 7 shots and 7 yellow cards in like the first 4 or 5 yellow cards or 4 yellow cards in the first 12 minutes. This is the second time
they were amped up. They ran around charging.
It was, and that's what the game was going to become. So it was a case of, all right, are we going to step up and be brutal as well? And I think, both teams actually stepped up today. Yes, you're right. You said Arsenal didn't look dangerous. I want to commend your goalkeeper, Sanchez, going in the opposite direction and diving and saving that ball. That's a ball that would have gone in last season. It was Sanchez. Let's be realistic. There were shots on target, and your goalkeeper stepped up today. So kudos to him. Kudos to Chelsea for holding on 10 men. It's never like these are the type of games that, for me, I'm not disappointed, because again, the reason we had the 6-point lead is for games like this. This is what you need those kind of gaps for, because you must remember City and Chelsea are still going to play, so one of them is still going to have to help the other or slow the other down, which is a good thing for us. But the game in itself today, I think Chelsea played literally out of their skin. They looked really good. But one thing I will say is, even though Chelsea played very well and we looked poorer than Chelsea when it came to like the way the game balance was, I will attribute some of that to the fact that 2 very good defenders that we have but have not played together. for the first time. Hincapié and Mosquera. They've not played together. They're very good individually, and I think usually when you have players like that, if they play with us, with one of the center backs who was already experienced, like a Gabriel and a Mosquera, there's a leader telling him, this is how we normally move. We move like this. If it's Saliba and Hincapié, you can see the balance. But I think with both of them, they need time to gel. And I think they'll get a couple more games because Saliba got injured in training. So I think they'll get a couple more games together, and that balance will come back. But yeah, having said that, it was going to be a tough game. Like my prediction, I was hoping for a 1-0 Arsenal. I was like, I'd take a clean sheet, go there, get a scrummy 1 goal, and just lock up the entire place, just pack it up. And then when I saw the team list and I saw that Saliba wasn't playing, I was like, okay, well, we'll see how these guys balance up. But yeah, Chelsea, kudos.
Yeah, I want to give props to 2 players as well. I want to give props to Chalobah, because Chalobah, he's known to, like, at certain points in games, he's known to turn off his concentration and allow some silly mistakes that could lead to goals. And today he was very on it. I see him shutting off some dangerous passes from Saka, from Declan Rice. Declan Rice I'm not going to say he had an amazing game, but he had a pretty good game today. He had a pretty good game. I think he was Arsenal's best player. If I'm looking at their whole team, I think Rice was their best player.
Your players, again, like you said, Chalobah, this was a player that I expected like a Bozo moment from, and I didn't get one from him. A lot of the players that I would have expected in Chelsea to make mistakes, to cause like that would have given us better chances as well, because we're coming to the bridge. Again, yes, we haven't lost to Chelsea since 2018, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like every time we come to the bridge, we beat you. It's usually a draw or something. It's when you come to the Emirates that we normally beat you, right? So again, the bridge has always been the place where we just don't lose. Fair enough, and that record continues. But your players played out of their skin today. Chalobah looked very good today. He played out of his skin today.
Enzo, he defended really well in the midfield too. Enzo defended really well in the midfield, because we normally look at Caicedo to do the defensive work, but today Enzo realized he had to step up and pull up his socks defensively and help, and that's what he did. Enzo did a good job defending, and as well, I want to say a quick little shout out to Esteval. I know a lot of people try to get onto Esteval, but I'm looking at a stat and I saw that he had the most chances created out of the whole entire field combined. 3 chances created in the first half. A lot of people want to sleep on that. Yes, he rushed his goal, but I'm expecting him to not be as consistent just yet. But he shows up in these big matches, man. That's
Do you know what those chances were? Because I can't remember them. Like I know that he passed it to Pedro. I don't know what Mo's saying. He's muted.
Mo, you're muted, Mo. But he rushed a shot. That was one. I know that was one.
I just checked the stats, actually. He's actually right, but I can't remember these. Like, he created one when he passed back to Enzo Fernandez, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Caught back as well, another cutback.
And Neto.
But I want to say something about this. Everyone is, I genuinely, this is now from experience over the last 2 years. Every now is better than Saka until they play Bukayo Saka. I swear to God, this has been the theme that is going on lately. Like, I swear to God, and I'm not saying that Esteval is bad. I was propping Esteval yesterday and the day before. He's a brilliant talent, right? Rodrigo is better than Saka until he played Saka. Michael Olise is better than Saka. Yes, he had a bad game until he played Saka. Esteval is better than Saka until Saka plays for Arsenal. Saka was not great, but at the end, it's the clutch moment. It's that cross that got them the point. Without Saka, maybe Arsenal would walk out with 0 points.
Saka had Cucurella hanging off him the entire game.
And I think, I get what people say, he's 18. And I like Esteban. I think he might be, his ceiling might be Hazard. Like, the guy is amazing, right, for his age. But it's all about that talk. Okay, he's better than Saka until you play Saka. And then Saka might not light up the field for you, but just receive the ball, turn the simple things that he does, and then he delivers a cross like this, and then it's 1-1. You guys get the point, right?
Did Esteval in the combined 11 yesterday over Saka or not?
I think we got robbed though. We got robbed of a full Esteval performance due to that yellow card. I mean, our red card, because we all know if he didn't get that red card,
I thought that he would light up the pitch today. Light up the pitch, and I mean,
it's a game of 2 halves.
I know, but again,
let me first half, and then the second half could be amazing. Can I speak
to that red card? Can I speak to that red card? And I'll say this about Moses Caicedo, right? I rate Moses Caicedo highly. I rate him when it comes to midfielders in the Premier League. But this is where you see where age and experience also comes into play. Moses Caicedo may have been playing in the league for a couple of years, 2-3 years, the Brightons, the Chelseas, but you can tell that he's not like challenges like that should not be coming from a player like him. Realistically, you should not be putting in that kind of challenge.
And then you shouldn't be pretending to be injured afterwards.
And then pretend that you were injured right after that again, hoping that the referee would not see it and hoping that you would get away with it. Like for me, that shows that
was reckless.
Yeah, and that shows the slight inexperience. And this is
to be honest, it's not reckless, it's dirty. We gotta say it as it is.
And he
went with the studs up.
He had put in some stupid tackles before that as well. The shove in the back, it wasn't shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
No. I mean, what I'm saying is, I get it. You wanted to make it physical. I get that. But you put in a tackle that can end the player's career, literally. That could snap his ankle. Did you see his ankle? Hold on. Did you see his ankle?
Marino's a bricklayer, man.
If Marino was still in the motion of swinging and Caicedo's leg hit him at that ankle, at that shin, we've seen tackles like that literally put you out for the rest of the season. Right?
Yeah, maybe you're thinking of like Eduardo shortcuts back, but even like the one I just mentioned, right? Eduardo shortcuts back in the day, that was more higher. That was more on the shin.
Yeah, that's on the shin.
This was a bad tackle. This was a bad tackle. It's a bad tackle. It's a bad tackle. But the whole thing is like, this is one of them when it falls into the category of we've seen them given, we've seen them not given, because we can pull up many receipts of tackles like this where it's a red or it was given as a yellow.
Let me tell you how I know.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Can I just say this? Let me just tell you how I know that he knew that the tackle that he put in could actually be an injury.
Knew it was bad.
Like the minute he did it, he jumped on the floor as though he was hurt, because he knew immediately. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like a player that does that, for me, just shows the inexperience. I'm not dissing his quality. It shows the inexperience.
He made a mistake. He made a mistake. And he tried to get out of it by rolling around the floor.
And he was over the ball.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't think that was
but Dale, players do that, right? If you know you've made a mistake, you want to try. You do want to try and get away with it. Let football.
Right. That's what I was saying.
He's no saint. No players are saint. So I understand that people just do that, right? I'm not going to hold that against him because.
No, I'm not blaming him for what he did. I was just saying this is where you see the inexperience of like Caicedo as regards to like the duration of time he's played in the Premier League. Caicedo's ceiling is high. He's going to get better. Don't get it twisted.
Mm-hmm.
I rate Caicedo. I'm not dissing.
Yeah, no, this is independent his quality as a player. Or well, let's only talk about this action.
I understand.
He made a mistake. It was a late tackle. I haven't seen Caicedo be a dirty player. There's a difference between being physical and being dirty. I think he made a mistake. He tried to get away with it by rolling around on the floor. He got caught. It was a red card. I think it's one of those things.
I think Caicedo is the kind of player who doesn't have any regulator, right? When he switches it on to be physical, he's physical. He just wants to be physical. And I'm not saying that he's being
any player. If you get worked up enough, no. I'm just saying that I don't.
When they switch it on.
But understand. Listen, what I'm saying is, at this stage of his career, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying at this stage of his career, he's still that player that when he switches it on, it stays on. He's not able to regulate it. The players with experience, when the players that when it comes over time, it comes with experience. They switch it on. They know in-game management, when to regulate, when to actually jump, when to be a little bit physical, when to slow down, when to press a little bit. Like they know that. But with Caicedo, yes, very talented player. But again, this is his second red card in his career in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, first in Chelsea. First in 4 years for Chelsea. So it's
but they showed some stats, okay? Every 1.7 tackles, he's got a foul. He's up there with Bruno Guimaraes. It's like that rate of. He's not a saint. He's not like any other player. Like he's actually in those situations a lot. And we saw it today. If you look at a comp of him today, he was charging into the back of Eze. He was charging into the back of Timber. He was running around like a wrecking ball. Someone needed to like pull him aside, like an experienced captain, and say, "You're going to get sent off if you keep this up." And bam, he got one.
I don't think you can look into numbers like that, blanket numbers. You ultimately need to take each challenge on its merits. Right? Just saying he gets a foul every 1.7 tackles, it's an indicator, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
I
just don't like blanket stats like that. They just leave out so much context. Like,
but again, Rax, what we're saying is, what I'm saying as regards to Caicedo is, if when the referee drew the line in the sand, right, with the yellow card that he first gave, the first yellow card, there was a tackle before that he didn't give a yellow card for. So I was like, oh, well, he's not going to give yellows for these. And then the very next one, he gave a yellow card for it. I immediately knew that any tackle that was. And when Chelsea was getting physical, I was like, if
Yeah.
Arsenal bite at this, we're going to get a red card today. I immediately knew that the way when it got physical, if we had bitten, like Mikel Merino, I was afraid for him. He's the one player on my team that I know is willing to go dirty with you. Forget the fact that like I literally was like, if this guy does what I think he'll do, he'll get a red card today. But it happened to Caicedo, and that's from the inexperience, is all I'm saying. And my thing is, I think he's going to learn from this. I just think he's going to learn from this and realize when I switch it on, I need to know what, because there was no need to continue that. There was no need to.
Someone blamed me in my comment in my match review. He said that I'm part of the media that actually got into his head before the game with the amount of comparisons between Rice and him and others as well, right? But I genuinely believe that was the case. It's not me, but I believe the media got into his head that he needed to prove something today. And it's from the beginning of the game, he was riled up. He was like, by the way, guys, he actually committed only one foul that got the record, by the way. So he was tackling and just kind of leaving like a body here and there.
4 fouls, like if we're being honest.
But factually speaking, he committed only one foul. But I think from the beginning of the game, me and Osam were speaking about this. It looked like some of the Chelsea players are actually riled up more than the Arsenal players. Like the Chelsea players wanted to prove a point to the world, but the Arsenal players were more composed and calm. That is, and we spoke about this on MHF, that it comes from the manager. And I'm going to tell you the difference between the two managers. Let me give you that. Rak, you know what I'm talking about? Back in the days, Mourinho used to say, I want all the pressure on me. I want my players on the pitch to be a little bit calmer than me. Mikel Arteta today, from minute one, he was taking the pressure. He's like, he's going to be upset, him and his team on the side, but the players on the pitch, they want to focus on the game. Enzo Maresca's not that kind of guy. He's a little bit calmer on the side. So the players will feel in the heat of the game. They were like already short. You can tell it's not only them. Every time, Osam was saying it, every time there was a free kick or a foul, Chelsea players are, from minute one, swarming the referee. Arsenal players, Zubamendi got the yellow card, had one word, just walked away. He's like, okay. Timber committed the foul and walked away. He's like, okay. Chelsea, Korea, from the first foul, started complaining. The first foul, it's like the second minute, started complaining to the linesman as Chelsea wanted to prove something to the world. Like we're not as bad.
Yes,
and I think that Caicedo was the Timber foul or whatever. That was a clear foul, by the way, on the back of Timber. Yes, but it was like the push. And then he went to that flying. And I think that is the mental preparation for the game. The difference between the two teams, a team that is composed and a team that is riled up. They're like, we want to prove something to the world. And I think it's played a part in his tackle.
But the question is, you said it came from the manager. I don't necessarily think it comes from the manager. I think sometimes these guys are elite athletes, right? And you don't become an elite athlete without a degree of competitive spirit, without these Arsenal are the league leaders. Chelsea are one of their arch rivals. Regardless of what the manager's, okay, sure. In a way, Maresca could have calmed the situation down. Maybe he hyped up. We don't know that. But Mo, you know, right? You've played football. Sometimes you may be playing football. Maybe a player on the opposition does something to one of your teammates. Straight away, you're watching him. You're like, that cunt's not. Excuse me. That guy, he ain't doing it to me. I'm gonna get tight and I'm gonna be physical. I'm gonna do whatever. As a defensive player, when you see something on the pitch, or in this case, the Premier League is broadcast everywhere. Caicedo, maybe he's got rolled up by the comparison with Rice. Maybe he wants to show that Chelsea are on that level. Sometimes it's not just necessarily the manager. The manager can take.
It's not only the manager, up or down. But that is on the mental preparation of the game. They needed to be more calm. It's not only the manager, it's the managers, the psychologists. These teams have psychologists. The team talk before the game about being calm, composed, don't rush into tackles, just take your time. And I think that is the difference between both teams. We saw Arsenal were in the beginning of the game, Arsenal were much slower. And it's not only about moving the ball. Arsenal were slower into the tackles. They were slower into Chelsea were more aggressive. And I think the one that paid for it is Moises Caicedo, basically, the DM. He just paid for it.
Listen, that's one side of it, and you're right to bring that up. That's probably what led to, obviously, the red card. It was a bad mistake that he made. And one tackle, but red card, and it's arguable, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it shouldn't be a red card. It is what it is at the end of the day.
It's not arguable.
But that aggression, that's fair enough. But the aggression that we saw in that game also contributed to why we were the better team. 11v11, nobody here is going to tell me that Chelsea weren't the better team. Even 10v11, again, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying that, you know what, we maybe were the better team. We could have won the game. And listen, that's subjective, right? But at the end of the day, we saw the performance there. We saw that performance which was based on the aggression, how we didn't let players turn at times, how we were really getting in their faces. Again, we wanted to make it a derby. Arsenal naturally want to make it a bit of a slower game. Obviously, you know, try to slow the game down and obviously take the crowd out of it. But we made it really intense, and it worked for our favor. And that's why we were very good on top for many periods in the first half. But listen, I wanna move the conversation away from Caicedo, because again, I thought he was good until the red card. He let us down.
But before you move on from Caicedo, I need to mention something. Before you mention, I want to actually mention something. I don't want to hear revisionism on Caicedo after the red card. The problem now is going to happen is people are going to take this and say, I told you so, he's not good. Getting a red card doesn't take away from him being good or bad, which is, I'm going to say, Sam, for example, it's going to run with that. So I told you, Caicedo was good before the red card, and he got a red card. It happens. Declan Rice got a red card, rightfully or wrongfully, against Brighton last season. It doesn't take away from the performance. I don't want people, and I'm going to say this on my platform, I'm not going to agree with anyone saying, oh, I told you Caicedo's shit. He's not shit. Getting a red card is not shit. Like, getting a red card doesn't take away from his performances. By the way, for example...
It doesn't take just because I wanted to obviously make a point, right? And obviously, like you said, that's a great point, because again, we've seen the likes of Vieira, Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard. These guys are all great players, and they got a lot of big red cards in big moments.
Everyone.
Many. So again, it can happen. This is Caicedo's first, and he got bailed out by the team in a sense because we got a draw. But for me, I'm very disappointed, because that was an opportunity to make a big statement and cement ourselves in what should be a title race. Again, I've been saying it for a long time. I believe we're going to be in a title race. I think we're going to actually be there and be able to keep at least relatively close to Arsenal. Again, they could blow us out the water. They're a very good team. They're the best team in Europe, according to everybody. But we saw the performance again today, where we were matching them. We were going toe-to-toe with them. And that performance was quality. And again, people want to talk about our defense and how we don't have this, top-level defenders. But I think that's 4 clean sheets in 5 games. Only 1 goal conceded against Arsenal. And that's their lowest chances that they've created since October last year, bro. Like, so again, for us to be doing that with a defense that people don't really rate, that has to be praised. And listen, listen, we've gone 32 minutes into this call, into the stream, I should say. And we've not mentioned the man of the match. And I'm sorry, because there was a lot of hype, and rightly so, about Reece James and Caicedo. I'm sorry, about Declan Rice and Caicedo, right? A lot of hype going into this game. But I'm sorry, the dominant midfielder on that pitch today was Reece James. And that's a guy that, again, there's conversations about him and Timber. And I'm not going to downplay Timber, because he's a very good player. But at the end of the day, Reece James showed his level again. Because not only can he get man of the match performances at right back, also at centre-back, he can play top level players' performances there. Right wing back, but also in midfield. Again, Club World Cup final against PSG was amazing. And again today, he ran the show against Rice,
against 4 midfielders. Because Mikel Merino was their striker. Their striker. He's meant to give them some control. So against 4 midfielders, you tell me you're going to come in and give me a man of the match performance? Come on, we can't overlook that.
I want to hear Martin.
Wait, one last point. Because again, when I came onto the show a few weeks ago, right, a couple months ago, and I mentioned that Reece James is one of the best footballers in the world that plays across in defensive areas, right? And someone was like, how did he say that? That's such a crazy statement? I'm like, what do you mean that's a crazy statement? You've seen this guy be a vital player in winning the Champions League. You've seen this guy do amazing stuff on a regular basis when he's fit. And now he's been fit for near enough a whole year. His last injury was over a year ago now. We're seeing the level once again. So people got to put respect on this guy's name.
But again, this is.
I want to hear Martin. Can I get Martin? I want to hear Martin.
Martin.
He has been trying to speak for about 10 minutes, and we are interrupting him.
I'm just patient. I don't. Before we get on to glazing Reece James, because I think he had a very good game, and I think he was man of the match clearly. I wanted to talk about the difference in the narratives of the discipline of the team. This is apparently 7 red cards in 15 games for Chelsea. But you don't hear the same people saying, oh, there's a problem here. The manager can't control his players. When we got like 3 or 4 guys sent off for kicking the ball out or time wasting, they couldn't help but jump all over Arteta. So I think Chelsea are getting away with a little bit of like, oh, we survived this adversity, but it's self-inflicted, and it's part of having like a young team. And I think that, going forward, Maresca needs to take more responsibility for this if it's going to keep happening, because it's under his watch. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
on to
Because
Reece James.
again, just off what you said now, last season, we drew 14 games, and then in 6 of those games we had red cards out of those 14. And so if Chelsea's towing that same line now this season where you're drawing games without like this, I'm glad we had the buffer. So regardless of what happened, we're still going to be at the top, which is what you need a buffer for when you have teams like Chelsea, City, and sadly no Liverpool this year. But when you have teams like that, you need a buffer at all times. You really genuinely need a buffer. Otherwise, they're just going to catch you and overtake you over one weekend. But again, just to refer back to what happened to us last season, where we drew 6 games from red card and drew from winning positions, right? I think that if Chelsea toes that line this season with the discipline issue, if you guys keep, because Caicedo is out for 3 games now. Yes, I know you have Santos, but then if the discipline issue continues, there's no continuity with your players. He's out for 3 games, then he comes back, then this person, the Santos out, it's not a good, it's again, young, balanced. I said this last season, and Mo will verify. I said at the beginning of the season, I looked at your squad and I said, before this summer, before you bought anybody this summer, when you played last season, I told Mo, I said, when Chelsea clicks, they're going to be one of the biggest problems. They are going to be one of the biggest problems in the league. And it's evident from the way you guys played today. So yeah. So just don't discipline issues. You definitely have to look into it. You definitely have to look into it. That's something that could cost you actively challenging this season.
It's arguably cost us like 7-8 points, bro. Like, the Brighton game is in our hands, and we just throw it away. This game here, again, we might not have won. But again, looking how it was trending, we were playing very, very well. Caicedo was doing a great job, and obviously, so you're right. It's a pandemic. Like, these red cards are crazy, bro. Like 7 and 15 is ridiculous. So we've got to, of course, fix that, because we're not the best team in terms of getting like an array of goals, because our strikers today wasn't good enough, But our midfield our defense is improving. So of course, the red cards, we've got to cut that out. Have to.
Can I say something about the 2 lineups? On paper, Chelsea should have won that. With Odegaard being out, with the 2 centre-backs out, Chelsea should have won this. Actually, in my opinion. Chelsea were missing Palmer only, which Odegaard was missing.
Whoa. Palmer only. We're going to just disregard Colwell, who was our best centre-back last season. Lavia not on the bench.
Levi Colwell had an ACL before the season started.
Yeah, I know. Well,
so
I'm saying we're missing
the entire season, so you haven't seen, I know, but you haven't seen him play this season with your.
He's not part of this team.
I don't want to derail your point, because you're right.
To be honest with you,
I don't want to derail your point, because you're right. Arsenal had there was a lot of this like they
also
were disabled
on the left
into the game, right? Like
he was shit.
Like that is big. It's big. They lost some big players before the game. But we always say they have the best squad in the league, so they showed that. They brought in 2 centre backs that people.
Here is the thing. I actually keep saying this, and me and Martin and Jake, who have been doing a lot of shows lately together about this particular aspect. Having the best squad means, a player out. Gabriel out. Nkape can fill in for a game or 2. Having a player like Gabriel out for a while, and having Saliba and the 2 centre backs for the first time playing together plays a massive factor. It's the same as playing your DMs first time in their life together. These 2 centre backs in a game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea coming from a massive win against Barcelona, I'm sure the guys were nervous. I'm sure about this. I would have said the same about Chelsea if they had 2 centre backs that never played together. Fofana and Chalobah, actually, on paper, by the way, Fofana and Chalobah are better than Nkape and Mosquera. And they should be, rightfully so. And today,
I don't really agree with that.
Why?
I don't agree with that.
How?
I mean, listen, like, again, I feel like
how is that a crazy thing?
Listen, like I said, let me land. I disagree first. Let me land, right? I hear your point, right? It's a big blow to lose 2 centre back goals. They obviously lost Saliba right before the game, right? Cool. It's a big blow. I get that. But Mosquera and Nkape have been more established centre backs over the last 2-3 years than Chalobah and Fofana. These guys have come into form recently.
I've never heard about Mosquera before Arsenal signed him.
No, Mosquera was quality in Spain. We're not going to do that. I know Nkape was an invincible. He was an invincible. So like, we're not going to downgrade these guys now.
And Nkape was invincible.
My proof that Mosquera was not good is nobody would input him on Arsenal fucking sign him for 11 million pounds. That's my proof that he wasn't good. No good defender leaves for 11 million pounds to go to a top team in the Premier League.
No. You said that, but then I'm hearing everyone say, "Oh, Mosquera is this great defender."
The other evidence of this is Nkape went for 40 million pounds. It shows you the difference between the two. Like,
Can I-
that is
No, but
that's
no,
so
wait,
different.
wait,
can I
Chalobah.
say
Like,
something? Can I ask you
crazy.
a
No one
question?
rates
Can I ask you a
Chalobah for
question?
real, bro.
Can I ask you a question?
Wallah al-Azim, I've never heard of this guy Mosquera before.
Mo, I want to ask him a question. Fofana,
What La Liga then, bro?
hold on, Fofana, Mosquera, who's more established?
Fofana, for sure.
Who's the more?
You know what?
Fofana, but obviously injuries. We've seen he's not played as
Okay,
many
no,
football.
but
He's not played as much football the last 2 years. We know that.
But
In the Premier League, hold on.
fit two players, no one is choosing anybody from the the form.
In the Premier League, Chalobah in the Premier League. Who has more experience in the Premier League, Chalobah or Nketiah?
Yeah, but okay. But you also know what you're doing there. You're picking who you're comparing people against.
So Bundesliga and Champions League don't
I
count.
know why I'm asking this.
I said that yesterday, by the way, on MHF. It's not new.
You will hear other rival teams, right, say, "Oh, the player needs time to embed." But when you're talking about us playing two centre backs that have come in from outside the country to join Arsenal this season and are playing together for the first time, nobody wants to give them wiggle room to say, "Oh, they need time to also embed," which is why I'm asking in the Premier League, because again, the pace of the Premier League we all claim is different from every other pace of every other league. So if we're going to claim that, we must be able to put that on paper. Fofana has been here, yes, injuries, I will give him that, but we know he's a quality defender.
But a fit, we talk about a fit Fofana. A fit Fofana is better than both Mosquera and Nketiah, which is
yes,
a fit Fofana.
You agree?
Basically.
Okay, yes. But are we going to act like his centre-back pairing is not Chalobah, who we all know has a bozo moment in him? Chalobah has cost us some games this season. Chalobah him on his own has cost us some games this season.
I know, I agree with that, right? Yeah, he does have both. But what we're talking about is, you're talking about Chalobah, who actually has kept pace in the Premier League. He has bozo moments. He's not a bozo player forever. Like, he makes mistakes every now and then. He doesn't make. He's not made 13 mistakes in 13 games.
We got the evidence. Hold on. We got the evidence in front of us today. Chalobah literally looked more composed than Nketiah, who made 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
Literally today.
He played good today. But
also, I want to say something, guys, about this.
I'm looking at the past.
Are we forgetting that Florian Wirtz came from the Bundesliga and he was way higher profile as a player?
There we go.
Okay, I'm not giving excuses to Arsenal. Arsenal should have done better, especially against them.
It does sound like an excuse, man.
I think
it's actually
about
it's a
tempering your
fact.
expectations. Like,
It's
we
a
were
fact.
60% of our best. I would have loved Chelsea to have
fact.
Palmer and all of their best players out there. And I would have all
Why
our
are we
best
getting into the weeds with this player comparison? Like, it's unnecessary,
Anyway,
really. Like,
Well, we're a long way away from our
let
best.
me do.
I don't know what it proves. Like,
Let me do the super chats before we actually talk about Reece James. Arteta is an early season coward. Understand?
Late season too.
Early season.
Like why? Yeah. Like why? How is the team that is top of the league, scored the most goals, is a coward? Like how?
Oh, he went for it.
I think he means in decisions.
So today, the guy Arteta today, they were pressing Chelsea from the first minute. They didn't sit deep, but they were outplayed by a team that I thought was better on the pitch away at Stamford Bridge. It's as simple as that. And I don't think he made any I don't think that Arteta went to this game. You can tell that Enzo Maresca and Arteta wanted the win. No, none of them wanted the draw. Even at 10 men, Maresca was still aiming to win the game. So where is the cowardness in him, AMP?
I love that.
Where is it? Like, I don't understand
more agendas must agenda.
Maresca
and they'll say things like, "Oh, maybe it's in his decision making." Decision making is what's put him right now at the top of the table with a 5-point goal difference. Right? No, it is. Yeah. It may have been bad decisions. Call it whatever you want to call it. The point is, agendas will agenda when it comes to Mikel Arteta. There's nothing.
Ultimately, in the context of this game, go on there, finish. Sorry.
Okay, in the context of this game, we're not going to be perfect in 38 games total, right? This season in 13 games, these are the type of games, and I expect teams like Chelsea, City, Liverpool to be able to be the teams that give us problems. Those are the teams I expect problems from, especially away from home. If you come to the Emirates, you should expect to get problems from me. You can't show up at my door and I'll just lay down, roll over for you. I came to the bridge and you literally made it difficult. I expect that. So for anybody to sit there and say, "Oh, a draw away at Chelsea," when you still have a buffer at the top, means that the manager is a coward. It's totally.
How is he a coward? I didn't see. Go ahead,
The point is, I think people are maybe saying it because Arteta didn't go gung-ho for the win, but over the course of a season, Arsenal's objective is to win the league. You understand that in some games you may throw the barn door at it and you may not get the win, because that's just the nature of football. But Arsenal attacked quite heavily against Sunderland, but in the end they got the draw. They dropped 2 points. You can look back at these things retrospectively, but when you've got that kind of gap, you have to pick and choose the moments that you maybe be a little bit more cautious, and the moments where you be a little bit more aggressive. I think Arteta, maybe he wasn't as aggressive as he could have been, especially when Chelsea down to 10 men. But I'm not going to heavily criticise him, because then you're looking at micro decisions in every single game. When we've got a 38 game season, they're sitting 5 points clear, 6 points clear, whatever it is, at the top of the league. Like, ultimately, if they win the league, no one's going to remember this. In 6 months' time, no one's going to remember.
I need to move on from this conversation because I need to do the rest of the
Arteta is such a coward that he took out Zubimendi and brought in Odegaard and Eze at the same time. 2 attacking players, 2 creative players.
I can't believe you gave the super chat so much like credence. Like he was there, was trolling.
No, he's not. The thing about it, he is not. I know AMT. He's not. He's not trolling. He's actually being serious. Saka 1 assist in 2025, by the way, for all this chat, by the way. Yeah, he had 1 assist in
all this chat for Palmer, by the way.
You know, Saka's for like half the season.
Come on, man.
Fair enough, Blaze. It wasn't inexperienced by Caicedo. It was childish. I would do that when I was 6, 7 years old. He is immature. I think it got into his head. That is too much. It got into his head.
One moment.
Even mature, experienced, world-class players make mistakes. It was a mistake. Let's not overblow it. Like,
Roy Keane did this in his 30s. Most schools did that. It happens.
And next week or the week after an experienced 30-year-old who's been through all the battles will make a similar mistake and will get sent off.
Yeah, but exactly. Zidane did it at the age of 34 in a World Cup final. Okay,
but Mo, you can see it from the first minute of the game that he was going to make that type of mistake with the kind of shots. He was hot. Caicedo was hot today, and I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this.
He was hot-blooded, yeah.
Like what I'm saying about this is like there's a level that you get to experience-wise that you can be that hot and give it to them, and the referee still just doesn't catch you. Is what I'm saying. Like, Caicedo was hot. I was worried. The first 2-3 minutes, I'm like, this Caicedo boy is going to be a problem today. Like, you could see that he was ready.
He was extra physical today. He
was hot.
He's also suspended for Ecuador in the World Cup's first game, so it's not like it's a one-off thing for him now.
They're gonna take it away as they did to Cristiano. Dayo, you say you go win. Oh,
you say you go win. Oh, yeah, I did. I said Arsenal will win. I mean, of course, I back my team to win. I've not lost to Chelsea since 2018. Why should I not come out with chest and say I'll win? But Chelsea showed today that they have the metal and they really came for it. So yeah, kudos.
Literally nobody knew Mosquera at the Liverpool game. Yes, but yes, nobody knew. Like,
he played a lot of games for Valencia last season, didn't he? I'm gonna tell you. Nobody. I'm not an expert. Yeah, I didn't know him either. But I mean, I don't really watch. But apparently, he played 30-something games for Valencia. So I guess somebody knew him.
Very good.
He's 21 and he's not even good enough to make the Spanish national team yet. He's in the under-21 team.
So the other half of the season. The other half of the season for only 1 assist.
Blaze, I don't think you want to get into this. Palmer has like 1 open play goal in 2025. The reason why Saka doesn't have as many assists these days is because he's going for goal more often than he is trying to pass to someone. And I'm happy with that. That's fine.
Fair enough. Like, listen, unless people think that Saka shit, it's up to them. Remember Xhaka? Yeah, Xhaka. You guys remember Xhaka at the age of 30? Used to get hot.
Was red card prone. He owned every red card. That one is mine.
Okay.
They were all premeditated cards too, by the way, with Xhaka. Like, it wasn't
There is James conversation dominating. So what are you saying? He's gonna play in the middle now? Who's gonna be benched then for Chelsea when Palmer is back?
I just want some respect on his name. That's what I want. Because I was hearing this you comparing him to this Timber guy. I was like, guys, like we told you this before the match.
The respect
is
there.
We told you this before the match was gonna happen. No, wait, let me finish. We told you this before the match was going to happen. Reece is going to come on. He's going to dominate. He's going to show him levels. What happens? He comes on, dominates, shows him levels. I mean, why argue with an Arsenal fan when you could just wait? You could just
hold on. But here's my question. What you're saying doesn't hold any water.
And you argue with us all the time.
Your argument doesn't hold any water. You know why? Your argument doesn't hold
water? It's content.
Your argument doesn't hold water because Reece James did very well in the midfield. I know he's a world-class right back, but again, his injuries and all that is why we've always said until he's consistent, and I can see him 3, 4, 5 seasons back to back. No injuries. Like, of course, you miss a few games here and there. But
my
here's
argument:
thing.
he's a better
Here's
player.
They were comparing him to Timber in right back. Timber played right back today. Reece James played in midfield today. So now saying that he dunked on Timber doesn't hold any water to me. It's like you.
But he dunked on Declan Rice. You Ballon d'Or conversation.
He didn't dunk on Declan Rice today. He played very well, but he didn't dunk on. Like what was the dunk in the 2 times he ran past him? The 2 times that he ran past.
Yes, and how's he winning the ball off him? Off Fury, off your other midfielders, Pocket and Eze, making him to get hooked. Listen, again, I'm not gonna say Timber's not a good right back. Timber's a very good right back, but people are like, oh, Reece needs to prove himself. Like, Reece already proved himself when he won a Champions League and was consistent. He got injured, okay, cool, but he's been fit for a whole season. He's been fit for a whole year. And people doing this whole, he needs to prove it. No, he's been doing this. He's only missed 1 game this calendar year because of illness, but he's been back. He's been showing he can play 90 minutes. And he's performing for club and country, scoring great goals, defending great, bossing midfields against, the best team in the world, right? So you got to put respect on his name. And then just because he did it in midfield doesn't mean he's not better than Timber. Again, we can have the conversation.
What do you mean put respect? What do you mean?
James is top, and he's been proving it.
He's world class. He's world class. I keep telling you, Mo. He's world class, bro.
He's one of the best players, in his position in the world, and he can do it in multiple positions. That's just
as a right back or as a central midfielder.
He's got to do more to prove it in central midfield for sure. He's only had a couple games in there. But my whole point is, as an overall player, him and Timber, it's different. Like, Timber's great defensively. So is Reece James.
Yeah.
Timber's decent going forward. Reece James is amazing going forward. And then the passes today, come on. It's different, bro. His bag is way deeper than Timber's. Let's be honest. Way deeper.
You mean as a player?
I think Gusto was better than Timber today. I think Gusto had a better game than Timber.
And he did. Gusto was quality today. I mean, Timber's clearance at the end of the game was quality. He saved us a point. Fair enough, Timber. I appreciate that because that clearance to stop your scoring. That was a big moment.
Yeah, appreciate Timber. Appreciate it, man. We gotta get him some merch. We gotta get some merch, man. Some Chelsea merch, man. Facts.
We're gonna go back to the same conversation. See, here's the problem. We'll go back to the same conversation about this player is better than that. That player is better than this. This player is better than this. Yeah, but that's the problem with this.
Reece James
as a unit,
the best player in the Premier League. Is that what we want?
Did anybody say that?
But I don't know, how much respect can we give this guy?
Nobody's disrespecting him and saying he's not a good player. What everybody has always said about Reece James, again, he's been fit for 1 season, and now we're going to say, let's just forget all the other times where he was not fit, even though we know he's a quality player, and just overnight be like, all right, cool, now it is time. No, I want to see it now. Like, the thing about it is, again, you've seen players who they look good, they get injured, they go out, they come back, and then they drop off. No, that's not him, right? He comes back and he maintains. My thing is, because it's not consistent, it's easy to forget him. But this season he's been consistent. So now we can begin to judge.
How long is long enough?
Now I can begin to judge him. I think if he ends this season without anything and starts next season, great. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm not dissing him. Don't get me wrong. He's here. I rate him. I'm saying what we've complained about was his availability. That's all I've complained about. Never about his ability. His availability is what I've always complained about. I'm not dissing
that's
him.
fine, but that's fine. For me, I just feel like a year of football is enough time to be like, okay, this guy's back and he's proven it. He's actually playing differently and he's still performing at a world-class level. That's great. But me, if Rodri comes back and gives us 6 months of really good football, I'm going to be like, okay, Rodri is back at his level. I'm not going to then not put Rodri in top DM conversations if he's performing at that level. Just like Reece James has come back, been here for a year, performing at top level, and wait for it, winning big trophies. So, what else does he need to do? What else does he need to do? I don't get it. What are we waiting for?
Where would you play?
They need a good World Cup out of him. That's what they need. They need to see him at the World Cup.
Would you play him as a right back, or would you play him as a central midfielder if you were the manager?
I still prefer him right back. I feel like his skill set suits that way more, especially if you allow him to bomb on an attack. And I think Maresca is trying to, in a sense, protect him, but also use his physicality defensively a bit more. But obviously now with Caicedo out for 3 games, we're going to probably need to see Reece James in the midfield more. Santos is going to get trusted more, and that's what you need to do if you want to stay in a title race again with Arsenal, who have been amazing this season. You've got to be able to rely on the depth. You've got to rely on the squad to actually fill the gaps. So Reece James can do it. It's great. It's a great thing to have.
So good he's amazing. That he's wasted as a right back. If he's showing this level of performance centrally, this is the kind of player you should have in there, dominating and winning duels and dictating play more than just a right back. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how you manage that going forward with Caicedo.
I think you can win games from right back though as well, especially if he's attacking. You can win games from right back as well. And obviously in midfield, we have Caicedo, we have Enzo, who was quality again today. And obviously if Labia's fit, which again, he needs to prove his fitness, right? He needs to prove that. But if Labia's fit, we've got great midfield options. Great midfield options.
If Labia still exists, I don't know if I've actually seen this guy. Has
Palmer
he played?
Duncan.
Let me just take it back
Two-
because I didn't really get to answer.
Before I just
Dio, real quick.
Palmer Duncan 2 on PSG. Your math is wrong. Fair enough. Yeah. But we need to see Palmer back in the Premier League and just up and firing. He's been injured for 13 games for club and country. It's just a lot of games, to be honest. I don't have an agenda. It's Mikel Arteta's game management. AMT, literally, Dio just responded to you. He took out a DM and put an attacking midfielder.
Exactly. How is that not an agenda? You said somebody is a coward. The manager looks at the squad and says, you know what? I'm taking out a defensive player. I'm adding in more attack. Brings in Noni on the left again. Like literally puts in new fresh legs, more attack. Brings in Gyökeres. Plays Odegaard and Eze. Like with Saka still on the pitch. Like please. It's clearly an agenda. You can't sit here. And next time you want to respond with this kind of fake, it's not an agenda. Do it with like $20. Please.
Don't tell him to do whatever.
Thank you very much.
By the way, people, other currencies are available.
Yeah.
Don't.
Just whatever currency, do it with 20.
Once you've got all of your entire backline with yellow cards, I think it's very hard to make like aggressive substitutions from then on. So I think that's played against us a little bit, but yeah, AMT is not going to be happy either way.
I know he's not going to be like AMT wanted the win. That is what it is. But Jacob, what did you want to respond to?
So I want to respond to what Dio said about Reece James because, like they said, Reece James didn't play right back today, and that's what you can't really compare him to Timber. But I was talking about they're just comparing them as players in themselves. It's just don't even bother
in their position is what when I compare players, I compare apples for apples. So if I'm comparing the right back,
I'm gonna respond to both. I'm gonna respond to both, right? So what I saw from Reece James today was just pure class. We're talking about him against some of, you could say, the best midfielders in the league. Eze, a great attacking midfielder. Declan Rice, he's in Ballon d'Or conversation. He's a Ballon d'Or candidate, right? So this is a player that has been showing up against some of the best teams in Europe and giving you some of like man of the match performances. Now, Reece James, this is his second best position. Not even really his second best position, but it's not even a position he normally plays. You're putting him in midfield, and he's still giving you a better game than Jurriën Timber, who's in his main position. That should tell you something in itself. He's not even playing in his best position. He's playing in his second best position. Now, what do you get out of both players when they're playing right back? Yes, Timber, he could kind of talk to Reece James defensively. Yes. But when Reece James goes forward, it's night and day. You're going to get better ball striking. You're going to get better passing, better crosses. You're going to get better decision-making in terms of when he's up there, he has the ball in attack. This is why I try to say all the time that Reece James is just above him. I'm not going to go as far as super clear, but he's above him.
No. Reece James is an amazing player. But when I judge players, I said apples for apples. I judge you in the first duty you're supposed to be doing. It's the same way I used to look at Trent Alexander-Arnold and say he's an amazing player. He's a better player than any right back that I know, but he should not be a right back. Trent is not a right back. That's the point. Reece James playing a right back is not defensive enough for me as a right back. He's not better than Timber defensively.
Trent is a right back.
I'm saying in his key role, which is to defend, Timber is a better defender than he is.
Good defensively as a right
back. Your role is dictated by how you play and the instructions of the manager.
I agree.
Right?
Quite literally.
So it's not.
If you just want to compare skill set to skill set, he's a better player than Timber. Skill sets wise. I'm saying in the duty that you've been assigned to do as a fullback, your job is to defend, right?
It's not. It's not just
not necessarily.
I said your key. Hold on. Are they a defensive midfielder and a attacking midfielder? What is their key job? First, as a defensive midfielder is to screen in front of your defense, right? Take the ball, distribute the ball, break play. Attacking midfielder, join the box, crash the box, progress the ball. This is your key, just the key things. Yeah. So I'm saying
if the conversation is just about centre backs,
hold on. Before we move on, I got ads. Dayo, can you say that you think that your statement is the right back main job is to defend? Is that your statement?
I said as a defender. As a defender, he's a
no. I just want to. Okay. Dayo, it's a straightforward thing. We're talking about right back. You think the main attribute of a right back should be a defender?
Yes.
If you say that, okay, great. Okay. I don't think the 5 of us agree with the statement.
But that's not. But that's not what I'm. Again, you see, what you're saying is not what I think. I am saying. Hold on. When you set up,
let me just finish that next point. I'm not gonna tell you what to believe and what not to believe, but you cannot build an argument against us with something that none of us believe in. You get my point?
I'm building based. I am asking this. Hold on. What is the job of a right back? As in, if you play four at the back, what is their key job?
Okay, four. Okay, I can answer. I can answer. You ask me, I can answer this. It's very simple answer. You ask me, let me answer. Go on. Okay, for the big teams like an Arsenal, like a Chelsea, like a Liverpool, a Man City, a Barcelona, Inter, Juventus, the right back is normally most of the time in the opposition's half. So your offensive attributes are the one that is shown. If you play for Everton, if you play for Fulham, if you play for Ipswich, if you play for Leeds, you might be a right back that is looked at defensively more. For Arsenal or Chelsea, mostly the right back is up on the pitch doing overlap because
what you're doing is you're talking about, this is what you call manager instruction, telling the right back to play that way. I'm saying your initial, who would you trust, right, in a Calafiori and a Miles Lewis Kelly? I would trust Calafiori more defensively, even though he's also good going forward offensively.
Calafiori is just better.
Yeah, he's just better. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in just that defensive because who tracks back to cover that right angle? Usually, it should be you. That's your zone. That's your position. Your first key thing as a right back, regardless of how good you are going forward, which is why I said I rate Reece James as an amazing player. He's above this thing. But when it's just one-on-one defending, I would say Timber is a better defender. Like, Timber, I trust Timber more one-on-one defending than Reece James. Every other thing, Reece James supersedes him. But you must have that key basic thing.
There's a reason why I disagree with you, right? Yes, for example, Timber may be a better one-on-one defender, but that's down to choice or whatever. Both of them are better one-on-one defenders than Trent, for example. But ultimately, the starting point is not saying right backs should defend, or defend primarily. My starting point is, what does the manager want? Because the manager has to not just take into account the roles and responsibilities of that individual player, but they also has to take into account the roles and responsibilities of them within a team context, within everybody's roles, right? So the manager may not, like, for example, I'm going to use Liverpool at Trent. Yes, Jurgen Klopp, for example, he wanted Trent to be more attacking, and he understood that the downside to that was there are going to be instances where Trent is exposed, where Trent is humiliated on some occasions. But if you're a ball-dominant, attacking, front-footed team, which most top teams are, then the positives that you get overall not negate completely, but will supersede or will be much more beneficial to the team overall than the negative parts. That's my opinion.
I think Chelsea, look, you guys are going to have to be careful about this, because if you get all these praise for your players and they get into, like, you have an all Chelsea combined 11, then there's no value in this point that you guys just got. We're not the best team in the world anymore. You guys are the best team in the world. So, you got to leave some of our players as better than your players. Otherwise, you're not going to get any credit for this.
Again, your players deserve a lot of credit. The ones that are better than ones that we have, and of course, you have a much better squad, much better depth. But again, we're talking about Reece James.
Your players over all of our players that started that game, right? You would say that your players are better than our players in all positions?
I would never say that. That would just be silly to say. But I want to actually ask you a question, right, about the actual game, because obviously I get it, coming into the game, it's actually a pretty decent result. We've got to wait.
We need to stop comparing players. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's talk about the game a bit more, right? Because you come into the game week against a team that's second place in the league, right? Started the game week second place in the league, and obviously come off a big win in the week. We had an extra day rest, right? So we started the game week in second, yeah. And obviously it's a tough fixture on paper, right? So again, I saw a lot of Arsenal fans come in with chest, but they're like, you know what? If we get a draw, it's not the end of the world. That being said, right, the performance, because I'm happy with the performance. I'm appalled and frustrated and angry with the result. I wanted to win that game so bad. For you guys, the result's fine, but the performance. Again, I'm talking to a lot of Arsenal friends, like friends, family, and they're all saying, you know what? Who actually performed good in an Arsenal shirt? Maybe Marino, and that was it. Like, so for you guys, how disappointed were you in your performances of your players? Because again, you can mention the centre backs, right? I get it. It's a lot to change going into a big game, but your midfield and attack, that was near enough what's been cooking for you guys in the last couple months. And to a man, they were all pretty much below their normal level. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not
I don't know.
disappointed.
You want to go first?
Okay, you go first. Go first, Martin.
Go ahead, Martin.
I'll be short and sweet. I think for me, I don't think we've seen a game like this, except maybe for parts of the Bayern game, but where we go man-to-man defending. The chaos that was going on out there in that field was something that we haven't seen at all this season against any of our opposition, because we normally play in like a much more controlled way. This was like, okay, there's a huge space there, but there's about 5 guys sprinting into it and they're all fouling each other. Like, it felt very abnormal for me. And I think I predicted 3-1, but once I heard that Saliba was out, that didn't really feel like it was ever going to be realistic. I knew we were going to have trouble playing out from the back, so I'm not surprised about that. I want to give those guys a free pass because it was a hard situation to come into. But Hincapié looked really nervous, and they didn't really know what to do with the ball when they had it at their feet, which is not a good thing for us. Trossard was out, who has been one of our providers. Martinelli is kind of more of a counter-attacking player, so Marino, he can only do so much in there. He's not really he's not Messi. He's just a pretty good finisher with some good touch, and then the rest is on Saka to carry. So I wanted to see Gabriel Jesus and Gyökeres and Havertz and all those guys coming in and getting some more time in this game, because we've been waiting so long for them to come back in. But overall, just felt like end of a very long week for these players, that they put a lot into the Bayern game and they put a lot into the Spurs game. And we didn't really have enough to come to you guys and get to your level, unfortunately. You guys were just winning the duels all over the place.
Well, the question was how do I feel about the performance? I'm not surprised. We're not going to play the way we played against Bayern 38 games, or the way we played against Tottenham for 38 games. We will have games like this. But what I do like about this is, at the end of the day, as disappointed as I am with the result, I'm actually more disappointed with the result. I was hoping it would be a 1-0 scrappy win. We get out of there. I would take that. I'd take a crappy game like against United in our first game of the season, where we won 1-0 somehow. I'd have taken that today. I don't mind how tired you were and all that, because again, I know the levels that this team has played on and can play on, and I've seen what we can do. For me to expect them to perform like that in every single game, week in, week out, midweek games, Champions League game, with training, I think that's unrealistic as a fan. So am I disappointed in today's performance? It doesn't matter.
But obviously,
listen.
Why is that not important?
Again, no, that doesn't matter. When I mean doesn't matter, against 10 men, that's why I said I'm disappointed that we didn't get the result because it was 10 men. I'm disappointed in the result. The performance, I don't expect us to perform the way we performed against Bayern and everybody consistently all season. We're going to have games like this. And if it's not going to be against the Chelseas, who should it be against? I'm glad this wasn't a Leeds game, where Leeds is the one we're struggling against with 10 men. Chelsea is a strong team. I said last season that when Chelsea clicks, there'll be a problem. I expect that even if we play a Liverpool as crappy as they are right now, with 10 men, it'll still be tough. Because again, the big teams, it's always those are the games I expect us to have a lot more to do in. The other games, well rested, come in, get the 3 points there and move on. Getting 1 point away at Stamford Bridge is not the end of the world.
Someone with a brain. Someone with a brain. Final.
Getting a point, we're playing away. All I could hear in the stadium.
No, you got a good brain on your shoulder as well. The problem is, ads. What Dayo said is so true, and it's the crashing. I told you Arsenal shit. I told you. I'm like, as everyone just said that Arsenal should walk to Stamford Bridge and walk away with the 3 points, ignoring the fact that Chelsea supposed to be good at home against Arsenal, even with 10 men, especially going 1-0 up.
Joint best record for home.
I don't understand. So Chelsea had, before today, 4 clean sheets in a row, right? And by the way, this is not an excuse for Arsenal. Arsenal didn't win the game as expected from them. I predicted a draw, right? And I actually thought that Chelsea should be winning this game because they are playing at home. Chelsea have had good performances lately. They beat Barcelona, right? The problem is the over-analyzing of Arsenal should have won the game. You missed an opportunity to go 9 points. Yeah, but you're ignoring that Chelsea played well. You're ignoring that their manager had a master class today. And if it wasn't for Caicedo, I'll pick Chelsea to win the game because they look like the better team. They defended heroically. Some Arsenal players actually were off it. I thought Declan Rice didn't contribute offensively. He was very good defensively, a couple of last-ditch tackles. I thought Martinelli was shit. I thought Moreno was not good enough in the first half. He scored the goal, fair enough. and Saka had the assist. Fair enough, good. But I actually thought that Arsenal, based on the contest, should be happy with a point, content.
But yeah, I mean, away from home is difficult. And again,
away from home.
Again,
but the problem is the media now. Open YouTube. I told you so. Open Skies. Open anybody. I told you Arsenal.
No. I mean, I see what you're doing here, though. I see what you're doing here, but my point was more the performance.
The performance was below.
Again, I'm just saying, I know what you're doing here, but my point is the performance, and they answered that well. They answered that well. Again, I agree with both of their answers. They were good answers.
Of course, you know why the performance was bad? The performance was bad because I thought they showed the quality. That's it.
Yeah.
But the Chelsea showed quality. Like, how hard is it for Chelsea at home to show quality? Like, as people are treating Chelsea with 10 men as its Leeds away from home. Yeah. Okay, you should smash the 10 men team.
My overall point, right? Again, they answered it great. My overall point is there's clearly not a chasm between these two teams. There may be something that could be more consistent. They have better defensive depth for sure, but there's not a massive gap between these two teams. And that's what my overall point is.
I swear to God, last season, Arsenal 10 men, people praise City for digging deep. This is the guys, the headlines. City dig deep to get the point from Arsenal at home at the Etihad. 10 men Arsenal. How did City dig deep to get the point? Because it's the last minute equalizer. Someone
and then now Arsenal's draw with Chelsea. What do we hear?
Who's playing my thing again?
That's weird.
That is weird, a little bit. But that is the problem. The problem is people. I told you so. I think YouTube is bugging or something like this. I don't see any of the comments actually on the side. Guys, if you are in the comment section, type 1 if you're still in the comment section. This is seriously speaking, why do Chelsea fans always compare their players to Arsenal players? Very soon they will start comparing Chalobah to Saliba.
Fofana to Saliba. Well,
we're not going to do that. Well, the logical ones won't be doing that. Big up for Chalobah today because that was quality.
You know what's funny? Let me tell you this, right? You hear statements like this from people like Don. I love Don. I love watching him, but he's a lot. Don says things like Saka is not world class, blah blah blah. But Esteban is better than Saka, and I'm like, why are you comparing who you call your best player, Esteban, right now, in form best player right now, to Saka that you don't rate? Like, how do you say that the person I rate the most, I'm going to compare him to somebody who I don't rate? It's either your player is on a very low level with Saka that you're comparing him to, or you're actually trying to find how to say Saka is really good, but you just don't have the mets to say it out. Like, that's the reality of it.
I think the point is Saka's very, very highly rated, and we're trying to say that. Well, again, obviously, I'm one of the Chelsea fans who gives Saka his credit, right? Even though there's the whole GA stat of recent, right? Saka's the world class player. He's shown it, and for club and country, he's shown that. But of course, again, Saka's rated very, very highly by a lot of Arsenal fans and also the media as well.
I can't believe Chelsea fans is saying that
to these guys. It's normal. It's normal. There's going to be player comparisons. Chalobah to Saliba, anybody doing that is smoking crack, right? But again, Esteban, because of what he can do, he's going to be at this level of the likes of the Sakas, the Elises, the Yamal. He's going to do that. We know this. We know this.
No. Nobody's saying he won't. He will. I mean, the kid is talented. My point is just the comparison. Like, if you don't rate a player, then why compare your player against him? Like, I rate Esteban, so I would be comparing Max Daumann and saying, you know what? Yeah, I think Max Daumann, because I rate Esteban, and I can bring that into a conversation. Like, hey, this guy I think is going to be really good, and I think Max can actually be one of the players that can actually, be on the same level or close to him or even better than him. Like with chess, I can do that because I rate him. But I can't say, I don't rate Esteban. He's no good. Then I'm like, I think Max Daumann is better than Esteban. What am I doing? If I think Esteban is down here, I want
to move on. So Chelsea fans, what's the score? You are so gassed.
I'm frustrated. Very frustrated. We should have won that.
Chelsea fans are frustrated that it's 1-1 actually.
Can I ask you a question, Ad, before the next super chat? Did you guys rent a smoke machine or something to for like when the players came out? I saw like a cloud, and you guys seem to have like new flags and stuff like that. Like it was like you were putting on a big show for us or something.
No. Yeah, no, but the TIFO, we've been doing that since we obviously completed the side. Became World Cup champions. In case you haven't seen that.
Has the badge got
bigger
bigger
on the Champions League nights a lot, for instance. So,
has the badge got bigger on the club?
Like I said, obviously, it was a big game. Pardon?
As the badge got bigger on the Club World Cup, it seems to get larger every time I see it on a jersey. Like it's bigger than your badge now.
I mean, they ain't got a sponsor, so they got plenty of space.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
The next one. What is Saliba's extent of injury? AMT, I just read about it. It's on knocking training. They have to do the test tomorrow to know what is the problem with him. I don't want to keep you guys for long. I just want to touch on Liverpool before we end the show. Just quickly on Liverpool. Did you watch the game, Rack, at all? Should we touch on Liverpool?
We can touch on it. I actually, honestly, I didn't watch the game. I was out with some friends from university, so I didn't have a chance. But I did have watched some brief highlights, and I can speak on Liverpool obviously from a more general perspective for the season. So
can I tell you what happened in the game? Okay, we can.
Alexander Isak scored.
Isak scored, and Liverpool were not good.
Was it a
We're
good
not
goal?
good.
It was a brilliant goal. Amazing finish.
I heard Wirtz had a good game.
Fantastic game. Phenomenal. Like fantastic game.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic, Mo.
No, I'm not being sarcastic at all. I thought
No, Wirtz was
very
decent,
good.
but can we say the S word? Can we mention the S word? The certain somebody who didn't actually come off the bench from what I'm hearing? Mr. Mohamed Salah. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. No, they have a good squad enough to be able to rest Salah if they need to. I mean, what are we doing?
Salah was not rested.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
whatever
I am Egyptian, and I'm telling you, Salah was benched, not rested.
Listen, my point is this. Yeah, listen, whether he's benched, he's hooked, he's sidetracked, he's injured, he's whatever it is. The point is, this Liverpool squad is also good enough and have enough on their bench to have a Salah not play a game and see it through. This is what we've been saying all season. The idea that we want to then just like it's always let's find a way to talk about Salah and make it about Salah. No, Salah is an amazing player, but if you're benched, you're benched
for the whole season so far.
I think ultimately, when you're going through the kind of form that Liverpool are going through right now, I don't think any player is above being dropped or is above the manager making change, because literally the manager is fighting for his life. Lots of Liverpool fans have already come out and said that he should go. I'm probably one of the few people who's still very, very close, but I'm still on the fence. And the manager needs to he needs to do something different. And if that something different results in us winning games, then so be it. Right now, I don't think anybody can be protected to the point where they're undroppable, because us as a team, we haven't showed it. Outside the first 5 games which we won, which some people will also say that we were lucky to win. I'm sorry, but everybody's heads should be on the chopping block, potentially. And you need to fight for your place. And I think anybody else on this panel would say exactly the same thing. If you'd lost 9 out of the last 12 games or whatever, none of us would be here saying so-and-so player, whether they be our greatest ever player, and Salah's definitely one of our greatest players in Liverpool's history, or a 16-year-old kid who's played 1 game. Everybody should be droppable because we're in that bad a situation. No problems with it.
Right. Question. I saw Tom Little say that 21 is still on. Are you part of this? No.
Because
you're only 3 points behind this Chelsea super team right now.
Sure, but we're 9 points behind Arsenal. We're 9 points behind Arsenal, and I think Arsenal now are going to win the league. I think overall they're too strong. And look, this time last year when we had a 10-point gap on you guys, I started saying that. I'm going to call out Souls because he's my guy, but Arsenal went 10 points behind Liverpool by drawing to somebody. I can't even remember who it was. And Souls came out on that very show and said that was proof that Arsenal were going to win the league. Yeah. So I would be a complete moron and an idiot and a bit of a hypocrite if I now turned around and said, you know what, us being 9 points behind Arsenal means that we're going to win the league. Because also I haven't seen anything in those last 13 games to suggest that that's possible. Unfortunately, I think potentially, and we have to improve significantly. I don't think City are consistent enough, and I still remain to be convinced by Chelsea. So, do I think us getting into the mix for second place is a possibility? maybe. If you're 3 points behind, I think you're in the mix. But ultimately, one second, last thing though. Ultimately, our performances have to improve significantly for that to become a reality. If we keep playing poorly, that's not going to happen. City, despite the fact City aren't playing well, are better than us right now. Chelsea, I think, are decent, are improving, and they're better than us right now. If all of a sudden we reach our potential, then I think we can surpass those teams. But we need to prove it on the pitch, and we haven't proved it on this pitch this season.
So, Rax, can I ask you for a favor? You know the blue brothers are right behind us, and they're chasing a fellow red. You know, I just need you guys to beat Chelsea.
What is this fellow red nonsense?
Listen, you're not my rival.
Me and you ain't the same, Dale. Me and you ain't the same.
I've never had. I know we're not the same, but I'm saying like I've never had a rivalry.
I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding.
My thing is, I need you to beat Chelsea when you play them, and I need you to beat Man City when you play them. That's all I ask.
Sure, but we're doing. But if we do that, we're doing it for us, not for you. Yeah. We're doing that for us, and when we come to the Emirates, I want us to beat you too.
No problem. Just come second so I can come first. If you want to beat, look, I will take a loss on the Emirates to Liverpool to win the trophy, to win the league.
Yeah, of course.
I'm telling you, if you're going to run through everybody and top them down, please do. I don't mind the other game I lose this season.
It's the war that matters. It's the war that matters, not the battle.
Yeah, that's all I care about. Like at the end of the day, I care about 3 points. All of this talk about the best team in Europe and all that, I don't care. You go check my channel. I've not made a video on it. I'm never going to make a video on it because I don't care about all that stuff. What I care about is simply 3 points. I know we're not going to get 3 points in every single game. There will be games that will be tough, and in those games, I just want to see that we tried. We worked hard for it, and we got something out of it. And so I need you guys to step up. Isak, that's how I was happy today. Isak scored. And long may it continue for Liverpool so that when they meet Chelsea and
don't beg.
I'm not begging. I'm just listen. It's not begging.
Yeah. Look at them, man.
At the end of the day,
I actually got a point. I have an important point before we end the show about the trajectory of Liverpool versus the trajectory of Chelsea. This is after the money Liverpool spent and the likes of Ekitike and Wirtz and Isak. If we're looking at both teams, who do you think is closer? Okay, we agree. All of us agree that most likely Arsenal will win the league this season. It's likely how it looks now, right? If someone else wins that, like City or Chelsea, it will be a little bit of mostly Chelsea will be a surprise. So we're looking at next season, looking at both teams now. We're almost like 13, 14 games in the league now. That's a lot of games. If we're looking at both teams, are we looking at the trajectory of Chelsea being better than Liverpool?
Next season?
Mo, right now, I think it's very difficult to make a case for Liverpool, right? Because right now our form is awful. So to even be in this conversation, we need to. Of course, there's lots of stuff that needs to happen about recruitment and stuff. But right now, our form is so far off where it needs to be. The conversation doesn't even really need to happen.
The thing about it is because of the manager as well. Will this manager be able to take this team to challenge again next season?
Maybe, yeah.
Is
he even going to be here? He might not even be here.
I don't think he's going to be here.
But Mo, if you're talking about trajectory, right? I think Chelsea have a higher trajectory than any other team in the Premier League right now, and I'll tell you why.
Not with Arsenal.
No, even with Arsenal, I'll tell you why. They have a higher trajectory, and I'll explain why. It's not because I said this to you last season, and I'm going to say it again. These guys have the youngest squad and very talented players, and these players look like young players who look like they're going to do it. Now, Arsenal, we now have players who are 24, 25, 26, 27. This is where we have to do it now. We don't have any excuse. We need to go on and win.
But you can improve from this, like what City started with Pep Guardiola.
I'm not saying we can't improve more. I'm saying just looking at what we have and what they have. If we say we're going into next season, they have young players that have a ceiling that they can meet up to. So they will get better. We also will get better, but if we are closer to our what's it called? Like you're closer to that point where it's like you're 98. You can only get 2%.
You think you peaked? Now. You think Saka peaked?
I don't think. I'm not saying
think Rice peaked. You think Zubamendi peaked? And I'm asking you.
I'm not saying that they've peaked. I'm saying even
you think Arsenal peaked?
No, I don't think Arsenal
Okay,
has
but that's
peaked.
the whole point.
I don't know what he's doing. He's glazing Liverpool.
I'm
and
not
he's glazing
glazing
Chelsea.
Liverpool and
He's all over the
Chelsea. Do you think? Hold on. Do you think that a young player has more to learn into their game to become better than a player who's already almost set in their ways and needs to change new tricks? Is what I'm saying. I'm saying they have a young squad.
I don't know if you guys agree with me. I think players improve from the age 23, 24 to the age 28 more than the players improve from the age of 19, 20 to the age of 23, 24. That is the maturity level of, like Salah. Watch Salah at that age, how he like completely matured. Even Eden Hazard for Chelsea, when he joined, by the time he reached 23, the jump for him to be one of the best players in the world was immense within 1-2 that age. Like Isak, for example, Isak started slow, Sociedad, young, improve him. Then he hit the age of 23 and he was like, okay, oh my God, he's becoming one of the, I think most likely Arsenal will improve more within the next year. You can say the next 3-4 years, yeah, Chelsea might improve better with the likes of Estevao. You have young players as well, but Arsenal still will improve. I disagree. Of course,
I'm not saying we won't improve. You see, I think you missed the point when I say I'm saying Chelsea has a higher, like Chelsea players will improve and you will drastically see it because when looking at Arsenal players now, we're like, yeah, you know what, you're top 3, Saka, top 4, right winger in the world. So he has to surpass 2 or 3 other people, the Lamine Yamals, the Mo Salahs, like to become number 1. But then you're looking at the Chelsea player, you're just like, all right, maybe he's top 10 right now. But he's going to go from number 10 to number 5, maybe right behind Saka, or even number 4 on par with Saka, right? And Saka might be moving to number 3. My point is they have a bigger jump and you will drastically see it because of the talent that they have, is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying we've peaked and they are going to catch up. Like, of course, they will get better. But if you look at the players that they have, these players are going to go from literally from here to up there, almost over the next couple of seasons, next 2 seasons.
Yeah. There's way more room for improvement with us because, again, we've not proven it like Arsenal. Again, one big thing about this game is we have to actually prove that we can play a big team off of a European night and still perform at a top level because we've not really done that. I think when we played our last game in a Champions League against Karabag, then we lost to Sunderland. So like that, this was actually a better performance. Still not 3 points, but at least it was some improvement, right? So we got things to improve and things to prove and to show. But I think the biggest thing for this conversation is recruitment because Liverpool last summer, even though it's kind of blown up in their face, they at least tried to go and get finishing pieces with a top level striker that was rated one of the best in the world. Same with Wirtz as a number 10 and even Ekatike as well. Like crazy summer, right? Arsenal signed finishing pieces in the likes of Gyökeres, Eze. These guys are in their prime right now. With Chelsea, we've not actually seen that because it's great that Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo, these guys are all in their early 20s. That's amazing. But are we going to go and sign a proven striker that's, okay, I'm in my prime, I'm going to be a guy that you can expect to get 25, 30 goals? Well, we weren't expecting that from Delap. People weren't expecting that from João Pedro either. And even at centre-back, I feel like we can also sign a finishing piece there. We can maybe got a Guehi or somebody at a top, high level. So for me, it just comes down to our transfer strategy. Are this board going to change things? Are they going to be a bit more proactive and get higher end players? Or are they going to just continue to buy younger players and continue the model where it's about flipping players later on and just building their value up? Because if you sign an Eze, which Arsenal have done, there's no thought process about in 3-4 years' time we're going to flip him for a profit. No, you're getting Eze to go and win something right now. And that's the difference. Chelsea got to show that we want to buy players to win big trophies right now.
I don't know if Chelsea are going to do that, though. I think Chelsea will look for value. So if they can get a good player, a very good player on a free transfer or something like that, or for a minimal fee, maybe he's got a year left on his contract, and they'll do that. I don't think Chelsea are going to go and spend £100 million or even 70, 80 million pounds on someone who's like they wouldn't have done the Gyökeres signing, for example. I don't think at that kind of level. And
but at some point, logically, it's got to change, though, right? At some point, you've got to go and try and win because also Arsenal are doing the young thing, but they've changed. They said, okay, we're going to now go for more proven, established players.
Yeah, but again, I think you guys are doing what your ownership is doing is actually playing the long game, which is let's grow together with these young players. And at 2-3 seasons from now, these boys are all going to be entering their prime, and they will be. You will be dangerous, right?
But it's also what they're doing is they're volume buying. We spoke about it a few times in the past, right? Chelsea are buying lots of young players who have high potential. They know and they factored in the fact that most of these guys, or a significant percentage of them, are not going to work out. Those guys they'll flip on and make a profit on, and the 20%, 30% who end up making it, who end up becoming, world-class, borderline world-class, whatever, they'll keep them. And that's how they're going to fund the next wave of recruitment. Maybe they may change. And if they run the cost, maybe they will go and spend money. But right now, I don't think we've seen any signs that that's going to be the case. They're going to spend significant money on players, on finished players. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but maybe I'm wrong.
The model you guys run with your salary as well will be a problem for any big player. So if you're going to get a big striker, let's say you want to go get who can we look at right now? Say, let's say you were going to try and get Isak, and Isak was willing to come to Chelsea. You guys have a benchmark of 150k, if I'm not mistaken, according to what I read. I might be wrong. You know Chelsea better than I do, but if you're already capping your salary and saying you're only going to get bonuses when you do this, it's hard to get a player who's already in their prime, who really actually wants to come play for Chelsea, because he's probably earning a little bit more than that anyways, wherever he is, because he's in his prime. And if he's going to move to Chelsea, it has to go up, So, and you won't break that model right now by bringing in an Isak and offering him 300 and everybody else stays at that cap. That just messes up the physics and psychology of the entire team. So.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm looking to is when they're going to renew the contracts of Palmers and Caicedos and Enzos, because we were wise in putting these guys on 6, 7 year, 8 year death row contracts, right? Because you don't have to think about the renewal for quite a long time in the future. But at some point, that day is going to come, and you're going to have to put these guys on 250k, maybe 300k, because if they're winning big trophies, which I want us to do, and I think we're going to do, eventually they're going to have to be paid like the big players at Liverpool and Arsenal. And obviously, Arsenal were the same situation. And then you bought Havertz for pretty big money, but also made him, your highest paid player, maybe since Aubameyang got Ozil, which was a big move. That was your statement move, and I feel like eventually we're gonna have to make our statement move, and hopefully it's just not a flop from another London rival.
And the thing is, it doesn't even necessarily come down to you guys winning trophies, because if you've got Palmer playing out of his skin, but you're getting close, you're not winning the trophies, but because other teams are maybe beating you in the Premier League or Champions League or FA Cup, at some point Palmer is going to agitate either for a move or he's going to agitate to be on serious money. Because if he's on 100k and he's looking around and he's saying, look, I'm taking these teams to the verge. Just like Chelsea have, or other players have agitated for moves or agitated for pay rises, it will come around at some point, because you can't. If Palmer is 27 years old and is world class, he can't stay on 100 grand a week or whatever he's being paid right now.
Yeah. Your ownership is smart, and your ownership knows business. Your ownership knows business, because this long-term contracts, let me tell you what it does for these players as well. They're going to try and make sure they keep the best so that they can win something with it, right? And even if at any point they fail to win, they have some of the best talent. And if they agitate to move, they're on long contracts. If Madrid wants to come and get Palmer now, do you know how much you have to pay to buy out the rest of his years in that contract? Your ownership it's a win-win for them at the end of the day.
It is, but can I say one last point? My frustration with this season and even today's game is like there's an opportunity here. Listen, Arsenal look great and they could maybe get 90 plus points, but I also feel like they could maybe get low 80s, and I feel like that's an amount that we can potentially surpass or at least challenge seriously. But because we didn't go big in the summer, and we were linked to Manuel, which would have been a change in philosophy, going for a more experienced player, a captain. But we didn't do that. We ended up just keeping Sanchez because he had a good World Cup. But let's say we had made the change and we had gotten an Ekatike in this attack, or went for an Isak or whoever, Gyökeres, Osherman. Then all of a sudden, in a game like today, maybe they would have been the difference. Maybe they put us 3 points behind Arsenal, and even helped us win the other games earlier. So my thing is, as much as it's great, it's a great model. It's business savvy, very business savvy. But I'm in the interest of winning big trophies, bro. Again, we've all seen our teams go long times about winning big trophies, and we know that feeling is like there's no feeling like it. You want to see your team be at the elite level and then also win big trophies. And for me, I'm not trying to wait around when there was an opportunity to do something this season. The opportunity is still there, but I would have been way more confident had we done something major in the window.
Sanchez has been fantastic, so no excuses for Mariano, whatever. Sanchez has been immense.
Yep.
He literally today was ridiculously good. It's all about the center back, and it's all about the recruitment on the wings or the striker
and left wing.
Striker and a left wing, basically. That is what it is.
I think Liverpool showed, before you go on, I think Liverpool showed that like it doesn't matter necessarily about big money and just getting players in and spending a certain amount. There's no guarantee that that's going to convert into like a really good team. And I don't know. I saw your facial expression there, Mo, but like Chelsea have this conveyor belt of talent.
Okay, my point. Can I respond to you?
Wait, they're being jammed in by several sporting directors, so that like one hand might not know what the other hand's doing, but you're going to end up with a good talent pool. But whether or not those players can mesh as like a team under someone's vision, like Maresca needs to get involved and say, okay, I've got 80% of what I need now, but I need exactly this player that does this here.
But yes, but this is hindsight. What I mean is that you do your job by getting the best players out there that fit your club. And then if they don't work, you analyze it. For me, Chelsea, instead of signing João Pedro and Delap, they might have signed a striker that is a higher caliber. Because we saw João Pedro is not a striker, basically. He's not. Like, today it showed. He's a number 10. He's a second striker. He's not. Chelsea could have signed a left winger. You might sign these players and it might not work. Of course, Martin, it always happens like this. But you do your job, you study, and then if the exam is too hard, that is a different story. But they didn't even do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't even do that. As Ad said, like, you're not going to say, I didn't sign him because I'm afraid it might not work. I didn't study because I'm afraid I'm going to fail. They didn't even do that.
They can make a profit on any signing that they make, right? So it's like a low risk scenario. But for example,
that's what they're managing their risk with every transfer they're bringing in. They're looking at the pros and cons, and they're saying, if this guy doesn't work out, what's the downside? Where are we exposed? It's like classic financial.
Noni's a great example of that, because Noni divided opinion in Chelsea, but at the end of the day, we bought him at a young age, coming from Eredivisie. He done decent, got into the England squad, but he wasn't necessarily pulling up trees. And now we flipped him for a massive profit. So yeah, the model was great for that, but if we didn't replace Noni with Gibson, so we need to start a new process of giving him time. Maybe we might flip Gibson for a profit later on, but at the end of the day, I want to win trophies, bro. Like, there's a risk in not winning big trophies, and then Palmer might be like, you know what? I've been here how long? I've only won a Club World Cup. I'm not won a Premier League title. Maybe I want to go to Madrid, Barca.
Yeah.
So these things are
like, say, for example, would Klopp sign a player like Eze, who's like, or Ozil or something, if he wants to play like rock and roll gegenpressing? Like, if you've got a style for the manager and you want this team to hit like 100 points in the league, it has to have a certain chef's vision to it. I don't know how to describe it, but Pep was able to control that at City and say, I need this, I need that with Cheeky. And I think that
until he didn't control it. You're right, actually. You're right in that point. Until he didn't control it, and it's not coming up. It's not coming together now. Probably. You're right. I hear your point. I don't think Maresca's in control at all of what players come in and go. At all, by the way.
He will have a say. He will have a say.
He will have a suggestion, but I don't think like he's the one who's dictating. Like, I want that guy. Like, he's.
But also, I'm pretty sure they would have made that clear to him from the get-go. Like, this is the Chelsea model. If you want to come in and be Chelsea manager, this is how we're going to run it.
Take it or leave it. I think the one thing that Chelsea can change that will allow players in their prime and big players to be able to look at Chelsea and say, you know what, I'll go there and play is that salary model. If you change your salary model where you're paying players based on, what they agree to play, what you agree to pay them, and probably even more the quality of the player, you guys stand a better chance of being able to sign players in their prime. Because the younger players are the ones who are going to be able to take the 100 and 150k cap and be like, right, Noni will take 150k cap. Gittins will take 150k cap. But you're not going to get if you're looking at a top player to come in, Rodrigo, like if Rodrigo leaves Madrid now and wants to come as a left winger to Chelsea, Rodrigo is not taking 150. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if they
he'd be lucky to get 150. He's gone 30 games without a goal. But I hear your point though. But
but I'm saying like no. What I'm saying, just an example, like quality. So if they change that, I think if they just change that aspect of it, the whole model then actually takes on a different monster, because now you're able to bring in some players of 26, 27 in their prime to add to the talent that you already have, the pool of talent that you have. And for Maresca to be able to work magic, that's all, that's what I think. So
listen, I want to thank everyone that joined us. I appreciate you guys. You guys are absolute frauds in the chat. We have over 350 votes and only 150 likes. That is absolutely atrocious percentage, actually, for this show. And just a shameless plug, I'm actually 7 subscribers away from 47,400. I want to hit that before we end. So hit that like button before you guys
go. Come on, guys. 7 people, come on.
Dayo's definitely going to upload his match reaction for the game, of course, on his channel soon today. So go and support the Gunner Edge, of course. Jaco could join us because of his route and everything. I want to thank Martin. Ads, brilliant show, guys. It's not shameless at all. It was absolutely fantastic conversation.
If Chelsea router is a bad one.
Yeah. Probably. And now Rack as well. Hit that like button, guys, before you go. I will see you guys soon. And make sure to check out OK Jersey. And we're out of here, people.